What's up, everybody? Welcome to SAMSON's World. We are now live on Facebook, baby. Today, I have a very wonderful guest on my show. She is a comedian. She's been on Comedy Central. She's been on Roast Battle. She's all over the place. She is the comic. She's a very lovely, beautiful woman. Give it up for the very talented Miss Jasmine Lee. Yeah, clap for her, and here she is right now. What up, Jasmine? How you doing, girl? Hang on, let me bring us both into the scene here. We'll turn the music down. So that was good. Jasmine, welcome to my show. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Of course, you're always welcome. And I want to just kind of tell the people a little bit about yourself. I mean, you were, not you were, but I mean, you've been on Roast Battle a few times on Comedy Central. You were one of the original Roast Battlers. I mean, you are Miss Comedy Store, I like to say.
Me.
You know, Miss Queen, you know. Miss keeping the scene alive and everything. So tell people who you are and like a little bit about yourself.
Hey, I'm Jasmine. Nice to see you guys.
Hey.
That's so sweet you call me Miss Comedy Store. I do
be like
Comedy Store an awful lot. I love it. Roast Battle. Yeah, I did the second season of Roast Battle in Atlanta, where I actually competed. And then I also did the third season where I was Blake Griffin's cheerleader. So that was pretty fucking amazing.
Oh, right. Okay. What'd you say?
As in my loud.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, cool. And True TV, I've been on that all the seasons of the Laugh Mob's Laugh Track.
That's right.
Yeah, now I'm currently co-host for People's Party with Talib Kweli. Every Monday, you can catch us on all podcasting networks.
Really? With Talib Kweli?
Sorry.
Is that what you said, with Talib Kweli?
Yeah, with Talib Kweli.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yes, it's pretty awesome. I love it. I've been learning so much. Get to meet so many celebrities that I used to have on my wall and stuff. So that's pretty freaking awesome.
Like, tell us who. Like, who's the best and biggest person you've seen?
Well, we've done big people, but my favorites so far have been Lil' Kim.
Okay.
Obviously, every girl fucking loves Lil' Kim.
Hey, every guy loves Lil' Kim,
right? And like, I know a lot of Lil' Kim verses, and when she came, I had just happened to do her verse of Lady Marmalade.
Okay, I love it. Can you do that verse for us real quick?
Don't put me on the spot.
I'm gonna put you on the spot. What are you talking about? That's what I do here. I'm just sharing this too, by the way, to our page. So if I look distracted, it's just because I'm sharing this. Starting a watch party, but come on, Frida, baby, I
needed the lyrics for this one. Which one can I do without starting off? Crush on you. Now, shorty, once you go, get a bag, get a lethal. I'll be undressed in a bra or see-through. Right? Cause you just thinking I'ma cheat you. The only one thing I wanna do is freak you. Keep your soul says I got my own regrets. And I'll be doing things that you won't regret. Lil' Kim the queen bee, so you best take heed. Shall I proceed? Yes, indeed. I'm running out of breath.
That was good. No, I don't want to push you.
Right. I wasn't ready.
I don't want to push you too much.
You need the lyrics just to start it out.
Exactly. Now, what's up with your vision board behind you? I mean, a lot of people don't always know actors, comedians. We do vision boards and everything, and people don't really think that's real. But a vision board is like
very real.
We put the things on that we hope to come true in our career. So I'm just seeing power, happy, love. Michael Jordan, Beyonce, okay, Queen.
I haven't met any of the people that are on my actual vision board.
Yeah, but you will though. You got that drive, Jasmine. You got what
it's still up there until I actually meet the people.
There you go.
Yeah, and then of course I have me.
Yeah, of course.
Marty's that closed down. You know, he's gonna have his pictures on the walls, Marty's open mic.
Yeah, of course.
When he was closing down, I took my pictures with me.
That's pretty dope. Now, tell people, I just want to first off say congratulations because we know you are expecting a baby.
Who's expecting a baby?
You are.
I'm not pregnant.
What are you talking about? You said you were.
Oh, I am.
Oh my God, you must fool me. No, turn to the side though. That didn't really give it the justice for the people. There she is. Is it she or a he? Do we know?
I don't know yet. I'm supposed to go for my ultrasound April 3rd, and
wow.
Hopefully they don't cancel it because I'm very anxious to find out what I'm having.
I'm sure, but you know, I mean, all three of my kids were a surprise, so I have to say, you know, it's nice, but no, you're gonna find out.
Yeah, I need to know.
What do you prefer?
No, we'd make it a surprise. It's like, nah.
You want a girl, right?
Yeah, I need to know.
Do you want a girl, or what are you looking for?
Of course, I want a mini Jasmine.
Mini Jazz. Oh my God. You could get it. I could see it being a mini Jazz. Let me see your stomach again. Is it sticking out? Usually they say when it sticks out that way.
I know, but it's like, it's not low like a boy. It's just a big baby, I think.
I did call her she. So, and I'm usually pretty good at predicting this kind of stuff. It is a 50-50, but I'm pretty.
Doctor's already said a couple of times that he thinks it's a girl.
Okay.
So either it's a girl or he has a very little Peter, so.
Well, let's hope it's a girl then, because that's
Me
a
too.
tough
I don't
road.
want to have to deal with that. If my
That's a tough road. No, so okay, so you're pregnant. So what are you thinking about? You're a comedian. What are you thinking going into this? Is this, you know, because I know in the comedy scene, everybody, they're not thinking about having kids. Everybody says, "Oh, I'm not gonna get married or have kids until I'm rich and famous and have everything together." But little do they know, and I can tell that from personal experience, that it doesn't usually happen that way, you know? Like,
yeah,
I've been at my brokest with kids and everything, so I know it's a good decision you've made, but it's not the popular one amongst comedians, you know?
Well, yeah, I mean, it wasn't planned. I definitely wanted to wait until like 35. I was going to give myself to around that time to at least like really see if I was going to pop off.
Right. You're going to pop off. Don't worry about that, you know?
I do have my People's Party show. So I'm like, at least I'm doing something where it's like, you know, I'm out there and I'm, you know, somewhat made it. Like for the Little Jasmine, I've made it because Little Jasmine would love to be interviewing tons of celebrities, and I used to have like my own fake talk show growing up too. So, well, it wasn't fake in my head, but it wasn't on TV.
Now,
it's called Jazz Says.
Let me stop you for a second because I need to tell people, like, yeah, Jasmine is friends with Dave Chappelle, like literally friends with, you know, Jeffrey Ross, the roast master. You were on New Year's Eve, weren't you, on stage at Dave Chappelle's show and all that shit? Tell people a little bit about that. You are like this magnetic personality that really, but you're in the middle, and that's why I called you Miss kind of comedy story. You're in the middle of a lot of the action, and you know, everybody really seems to be attracted to you in that sense and pull you in, you know, from Dave Chappelle. So tell people a little bit about your New Year's and all that.
Oh, well, what happened was it was Dave Chappelle's show, but Jeff Ross opened it, and he did like a speed roast. Like before, where he just like took random people. So I was one of those people up there, even though I wasn't random. And he just like kept shouting me out like the whole time. So we had like a whole conversation. So like at the end of the show, people were like, "Oh my God, it's Jasmine Lee," and I was like, "Oh yes, it's me." And actually, people that have seen the show that I'm on now were like, "Oh, I remember you from that Dave Chappelle show." Yeah. But, and actually, I met Talib Kweli through Dave Chappelle. We were at Jeff Ross's house randomly after roast battle, and Talib Kweli was DJing on the laptop. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, is this freaking, I know this guy. Like, is this Talib Kweli? And I like, you know, Googled underneath the counter to make sure. And I was like, oh shit, this is Talib. And that's how I actually met him. And how I got the show was I was just randomly in the back bar of Comedy Store. And I was just like, hey, what do you have going on? And he was like, actually, I'm about to start a podcast and I'm looking for a co-host.
Dang.
Are you interested? And I'm like, you see, so for people that say you cannot get something from hanging out, you can get it. everybody, I mean, what's for you is for you. Everyone gets their stuff in
Sure.
their own time. And I literally got that show from hanging out
Yeah.
in the back bar after midnight.
Right. And it's not, and to make it clear, you're not just hanging out. You are a very talented
networking
individual who's also networking and hanging out. You know, hanging out makes it sound a little bit too easy.
Yeah.
I know too. It's hard for me because I've had kids now the last decade, and now I'm 43, but when I was your age, I was hanging out at the clubs and, knowing everybody always in the scene, because that's part of it. And part of the challenge as I become a parent is this struggle with,
going out late.
Man, I'd rather I'm passed out on the couch some nights at 9 p.m. Last night I passed out at like 9 p.m., woke up at 3 a.m.,
That's me now.
Yeah, like you don't mean to fall asleep. You're like, I'm just going to lay down. I'm not going to fall asleep. I'm just going to get really comfortable. And you're like, pass out.
It's the middle of the night or the next morning.
Yeah, staring at the fucking wall, like, why? So it's harder with kids, to also pursue comedy, but it gives a lot of rich material.
Yeah,
for you. So.
And I mean, the father's a comedian as well. So honestly, we're just gonna have to be tag teaming. Like, you go to your show, come back. I go to my show. And the good thing is that, not to say I've done enough networking, because you haven't ever done enough networking.
Yeah, I mean, you're always.
But for the past 5 years that I've been in comedy, I've really laid out a foundation to where people know who I am. They know my voice. They know my personality. So at this point in my comedy career or whatever, it's like if they want me, they know that they want me. So it's not
people look out. Yeah, and that's an important part. Is it's like planting those seeds, and now because people don't understand. It's not always about hanging out, but it is, like you just said, establishing a foundation of hanging out. I mean, that's where I met half the people I know now, and why I stay connected without being at the clubs. Is because I even stay like Del Harrison, Del.
I love Del.
Del is another person who is always out, always hanging out. And a lot of, bless her heart, I stay connected to the comedy scene through Del, because she brings it to me. So it's almost like even sometimes staying connected to people who are connected can connect you.
You just, I mean, the number one thing I feel like is you need to be cool. And you don't need to be thirsty. You need to network with a purpose. Like, I feel like a lot of people always look like, oh my God, Jasmine's always doing this and doing that. She's always, up in the scene. But it's like, I make genuine connections with people. I don't just walk up to, for Dave Chappelle, for instance, I met him 4 times before I actually started a conversation. I kept seeing him. And then that 4th time, he actually was at one of my roast battles that I lost to Leah Lamar. Shout out to Leah. I love her now.
Yeah.
And I lost the roast battle so bad. And afterwards, he was like, man, how did you let that white girl beat you? And then he was like, come have a drink with me. And I actually was on a drinking fast. But you can't say no to a drink.
Dave Chappelle. Yeah, no shit. You're like.
So I wouldn't have a drink.
Sure, Dave.
And that was the first time that I actually started to start up a conversation or whatever. The other times it was just like, oh, hey, how are you doing? Going about your business. You just have to know when to interject yourself and make sure that your first words are just not saying, how do I make it into comedy?
Right.
How do I get a special? Find something.
Gotta be genuine.
Is find something to where I can connect to the other person. There's always something you have in common with somebody, and you need to just do your research. I literally, sometimes I meet people and I'll Google and look through and see what I can bring up in a conversation that's not directly asking me, how did you make it? And then they're like, oh, Jasmine's cool. And then once Jasmine's cool, then maybe the 5th time I talked to him, that's when we actually had a comedy conversation where he gave me so many freaking gems. And I was just like, oh.
So give us one gem. What is one gem that Dave Chappelle gave you?
If you're not having fun, why are you doing it? And
sure.
And he said, don't be afraid to speak your mind. He was like, as a Black woman, you can literally talk about everything because you're the oppressed on both ends, as a woman, as a Black person, whatever. So he was like, don't be afraid to speak your mind because you're someone that can do it. And, make sure you're having fun.
Yeah, that's smart. That's the goat. That's the man, Dave Chappelle. You know, I was just thinking, Jasmine, I think I met you at Marty's. Actually, that was the first time I met you.
I loved Marty's. Marty's was the first place I ever did comedy. And I don't know if you would call it comedy. I just got it. Was only like 3 people in there. It was me, Tiffany King, Marty, and my cousin who came to support. And I went up there for 20 minutes and just like read a monologue of my life.
Right.
I think I did a monologue probably the first year of comedy. I was just doing monologues. But Marty's was a great place for you to learn and grow. And I met most of the people that I'm friends with today from Marty's. A lot of connections you can get from Marty's, because when you're there and you're working hard and people see you working hard, they want to work with you too.
Right. Well, and that's the thing I think a lot of people don't quite understand. And I've realized this recently. A lot of comedians can be really short-sighted, or people in this business, and not realize like the people you want to invest in is like those people that you start off with, you know, like with it like Tiffany, you know, or if it's a James Davis, or if it's an Ida Rodriguez, they're like all these people who I've known for years now that are really become, you know, successful.
They're popping now.
They're popping, and you can't invest in those people once they're popping. You can't buy the stock once it's at the height. You need to see before all the other investors to buy the Tiffany Haddish stock when it is at zero. And not like I bought into Tiffany stock or anything.
No,
but
you started a genuine friendship, a genuine connection. And then those are the people, once you have a genuine connection and you're a hard worker, that's how you make it to the next level. Because at the end of the day, once one of your friends makes it, then they can start bringing people up. They can start referring people for different parts and stuff like that. And then another thing I feel like comedians do that is like a no-no is they try and hang out, like you said, they try and hang out with people just so they can get them something. Or they like, or when someone pops, you're like, oh, now you should get this for me. And it's never that easy to put somebody else on. But if they believe in you, they'll find a way to push
and you need to be able to make, I think that's the hard part. There's the whole entourage mentality that Turtle, like in real life, entourage, Vince would not have been able to bring all his buddies along and make E his manager and all that shit. Like in reality, you know, most of those guys would have been gone, because what happens is Hollywood wants to pair you up with, you know, the guys who wrote Lost, not your 2 girls who you've been in a sketch group with for years.
You gotta wait till you get to that certain point to even start.
And I think people assume, oh my God, what the fuck? You haven't gotten me any of these jobs, or you don't hook me up, and they don't get, like, you have to be at that professional level where they can give you the opportunities.
And sometimes, well, a lot of times the opportunity is putting you in a room, because as far as my friendship with Jeff, I mean, Jeff has gotten me a bunch of stuff, like, you know, if he can give me a stand-in role or something here or there, or if he got me a gig where I did a table read for this cartoon with like all freaking A-listers.
Sure.
But what he's done for me the most is put me in the room. He's trusted me to invite me over to his house for New Year's, where Dave Chappelle's there, John Stamos is there, or whatever. And you know, once you're in the room, then it's what you do with it.
That's half the battle, you know?
Because like I know that I've like tried to, I don't have the power to give a lot of people opportunities, but I do have the power to invite people to different events. And it's like sometimes people are not like thankful, or they don't realize that this is me helping you. Like you need to be around these people. Majority of the opportunities I got all stem from Jeff Ross, because I wouldn't have been in a room to even talk to people if he wouldn't have invited me. You're not supposed to be in the back bar of the Comedy Store unless you're either a paid regular or you're invited guest of a paid regular.
Sure.
I'm always invited whenever Jeff is there, to the point where now I can go there by myself. And that's where you get these opportunities, just random conversation. Yeah. And then you're like, oh, well, what do you do? Or, you know, or how can you help? Or how do you contribute? Whatever. So
that's really where it's fun.
Realize that your friends are helping you out, inviting you to a premiere that you wouldn't have been to. Like, and then it's up to you to be able to go take it to the next step.
Yeah. I almost, when you said that, it made me think about guys like with women, when women okay you to their friends, you have an opportunity. And you know, half the thing, like a woman could see a gorgeous looking guy, but if it's not okay through her friends, he's not coming in or whatever. But once the friend's like, oh my God, that's Jason. He's friends with Jonathan. He's so cool. They're like, oh, he's kind of cute, you know, like then it's open. But like you were just saying, then it's up to you to close the deal, I guess.
Exactly. I can't get you the vagina. I can bring you the vagina, but I can't put your.
You can bring the horse to water. And Jasmine, do you mind talking a little bit about your sexuality? Because I do think it's interesting that you know, you are you, I don't know, and it is too much. You just say, Sam, go to, you know, just no.
Well, no, I know like a lot of people were confused, which is why my reveal was the flip the switch challenge, where I started out with a girl and then switched it to a guy that had a baby.
Right.
But, yeah, like I identified as a lesbian for, you know, since I was 20 or whatever, until like up until recently. And like it's crazy because when I did start kind of talking to guys, it's like you're in the closet all over again, because then your gay world is like, wait a minute, what are you doing? Like you're not allowed to have like a boyfriend or whatever. So that's why I was telling my boyfriend, I was like, the fact that I said that I have a boyfriend on Facebook is a pretty freaking big deal.
Yeah.
That you should love me forever for, because that's me outing myself again. And now, you know, I'm pregnant. So, and a lot of people thought, like, I was getting messages asking, did I use a private donor or did I use in vitro? And I'm like, nah, I used the dick.
The good old fashioned way. No, a dick.
So that, I mean, but I really never loved labels. And even if you like go through my stand-up, I'm always like, oh, I love women. You know, and I talk about my experiences with women, but I don't ever be like, oh, I'm like a diehard lesbian or whatever, because, you know, I
you gotta wear it on your sleeve. And
it's I speak up when I need to speak up, but I don't let it behind me. And that's why when I first moved out here, because people were like, oh, you should just go the lesbian route and you could just be a lesbian comic. And I probably could have made it faster.
I respect you for that, because I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, you can fit into that Cameron Esposito, you know, Sam J, just certain, you know, these are all amazing comedians, but in comedy, I don't know if people totally understand, there is something to, I don't want to call it a gimmick at all, because I know that's offensive or whatnot, but there is, like you said, being the lesbian comedian, or being the fat comedian, or I'm the white guy friendly with black audiences comedian, you know, like we all have kind of our shtick in a way, or what makes our voice ours, you know, but I respect that you don't use that. And, you know, in a sense, like when I'm in front of black audiences, I don't try to pretend to be anybody but myself. And I think that's cool. Like you just are who you are as well.
I'm just Jasmine Lee. Love me or hate me. Some people absolutely love me. Some people hate me.
Yeah, a lot of people hate me. They're watching
more strangers than anything. But I thought that the roast battle community was a tough cookie, until I started reading YouTube comments.
I bet.
Yeah.
Tell me, what do you think about the whole roast battle? I've said this, you know, and shout out to Rel Battle, who I know he's one of the creators, executive producers. You know, people don't, you know, he's a little bit on the other side. There's Jeff and all this. And then what I'm asking, though, has nothing to do with that. But the art of roasting kind of came from, I'd say, black neighborhoods, like the art of roasting. And what I think is interesting about roast battle, because kind of white, nerdy roast, which is more personal, like black traditional roasting is like, you know, your mama's so fat, she jumped up in the sky and got stuck, or whatever.
You can say anything in like black roasting, and just as long as it's funny, like you can compare someone to looking like, you know, an ant or like your elbow or something like that. And it's like, it's going to be funny depending on the delivery and how you say it. But I think that it's really two separate things, and it kind of sucks sometimes, because you'll do like roast battle in the Comedy Store, and if you do what I call cafeteria roasting, which is what I grew up on. A lot of times the audience though does not catch on to it because the audience is majority times predominantly white, and then you'll have a couple of black people. And I feel like the roasting at the Comedy Store is more so like, you know, wordplay and stuff like that, rather than just saying funny things that make you laugh.
And I almost think too, sometimes it's more personal insults, you know, be like, oh yeah, everybody knows he hasn't gotten fucked in 4 years.
They talk about abortions, they talk about miscarriages, they talk about disabilities.
Yeah, it's
like,
kind of
talk about everything.
That's my overall point a little bit is, you know, and through the appropriation of roasting, it's almost like the white version of roasting is a little more personal, a little more hurtful, where I feel like the tradition of black roasting comes from being creative. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you're so, you know, something like, you know, you're so poor, your mom leaves the oven open to keep the heat up, you know, whatever, like just those.
And also, black roasting
more.
Black roasting is off the cuff, it's off the top of your head. You're not writing stuff down. And that's a lot of times when you have a black roaster that grew up roasting in their family, grew up roasting cafeterias, they'll come to roast battle and they'll just be saying stuff off the dome, whereas the other people, they've sat there and they've done research on you for weeks, and they know that your mom is on freaking welfare or whatever have you, whatever it is, or your mom, you know, fuck the mailman.
Don't go in on it like, yeah, everybody know Megan had an abortion in high school.
Exactly.
And she says, booyah! And it's like, like, you know, because I was saying, like, you know, guys like Craig Smith or David Lucas are great. You know, Dono Rawlings, obviously a great roaster, but I was just
off the cuff.
Yeah, they're off the cuff, but it isn't. It just, it can get nasty. Like, man, you're so fucking fat, motherfucker. You fat ass, but you fucking get asthma, motherfucker, eating a cupcake, motherfucker. You know, like, it's like shit like that, but it's still not as cruel as like, yeah, your mom died of cancer in high school.
Listen, I've heard them literally talk about the number of miscarriages a roaster has had. First of all, one of the worst things someone said to me, and again, we're friends now, but this is like the most evilest thing, and this is what the roast that Dave Chappelle started that I was so pissed. She said that I was so broke I couldn't even afford to hang at the Dollar Tree. And I was just like, I was so fucking pissed I wanted to fight. And I was just like, but the thing is that when I do roast battle, people don't know anything about me. They don't know my past. They know, like, I post a lot, but I'm like, I post what I want people to know.
Sure.
So it's like, I'm very open, but I'm controlled open. So people don't know anything about my past. So a lot of times when I do roast battle, they only went for like racist jokes, which is why I don't roast white people anymore. I only roast black people, or if they are white, they have to be my really good friends where I know they're gonna actually be creative with their jokes.
Talk about that a little bit. Talk about that, because I think again that's kind of getting at what I'm saying is like the negativity, and it. I mean, I was saying roast battle. It got very, you know, you had Earl in there who was like the racist guy, which I thought he was funny. Like, I can really appreciate. What I loved about roast battle when it was really in its heyday up there was anything could be said, and it was so much like this 8 Mile Cypher kind of vibe. And of course, you can't bring that to Comedy Central. You know, you have to kind of sugarcoat it majorly.
They said some really
there was some very racist shit said in there, but it's like. You know, I was like Jamar Neighbors, the wave and everything is hilarious, and Jeremiah Watkins, all those guys, Willie Hunter. You know, it's a cool thing, but yeah, I mean, explain like how some of the white comedians is there like racism in it where it kind of goes.
Well, I think that the issue is that when it's not funny. Sometimes they just say racist jokes just to be racist. Or like they'll have a black person, they'll just keep going racist. When it's like, it's a whole bunch of other things that you can talk about that don't have to deal with me being black. We know I'm black or whatever, but calling black people poor, saying black people on food stamps, or whatever, I feel like that's kind of like redundant when you can get a lot more creative. And I like to battle with people that I know are going to be creative and are not just going to use it as a chance to show that they're racist.
Right. Now, and that's interesting but a lot of it is because they don't have real relationships with black people. Yeah. So a lot of their jokes are just written out of stereotypes because they never kind of
instead of about the person, which is where roast battle, like you said, is more personal. They actually write stuff about the person, like things that the person has done in their past, and not just like, you're racist. I mean, you're broke because you're black. And it's like, no, I'm not.
Right. Whoa. I just think I really like more like true roasting where it's just really creative. You know what I mean? Like, and just more, you know, like I said, it can get kind of nasty sometimes, but it's like, I don't know. I think I prefer black to white roasting, you know, a little bit. It's just more belly laughter. You don't leave feeling like, wow, that was really cruel.
When you have really good writers,
yes,
it's entertaining because it's cruel and it's funny, but it's not like
it's not funny, like, you know,
cringeworthy cruel. It's hilarious, like I can't stop laughing cruel, like, oh my gosh, I'm forced to laugh at this joke cruel. And like, they have the Saudi Prince. I haven't been to roast battle in a while because I was like hiding out while I was pregnant before I made my announcement, because obviously I gained weight quickly because I was little. But the Saudi Prince, he's hilarious at roast battle. He kind of like took the place of Earl as the but because it's coming from an oppressed group, it sounds funnier and
it's a lot easier. And Earl, I mean, he's hilarious. I mean, the shit
is funny.
He was so funny, and it takes some balls to say the shit he did. And like I said, the environment was cool. It was like an anything goes type of.
You sign up for it.
You sign up for it, and you got to be like, holy shit! But nobody was safe, and I think that's what's cool about it. But
it makes people like people that are in wheelchairs do it, people that have disabilities do it, and I do feel like it's inclusive or whatever, because a lot of times when you have a disability, you don't want people just focusing on that or being afraid to roast you because you're in a wheelchair. And that is something I do like about roast battle, because they're not afraid to talk shit about you just because you're in a wheelchair. But the good roasters are not just writing all their jokes about you sitting in a wheelchair. They're writing a variety of jokes to where you're just laughing, but you're just like, oh shit, this person doesn't feel like, feel sorry for me because I have a disability.
Yeah, well, the first jokes are going to be surface things or whatever. You know, that's going to be the first thing that comes to your head. But, well, Jasmine, this has been pretty dope-alicious. I'm probably going to let you go because my wife is...
You're not letting me go. You have to go.
I know what? No, I'm just letting. That's how people are polite. Hey, I like. That's how you get off the phone. Like, hey, I'm gonna let you go. But people always say that to me. I talk so much on the phone that people are always like, all right, hey Sam, I'm gonna let you go. I was like, oh, okay, okay, yeah. I gotta go too. Yeah, I got some things I gotta do too.
I try to well write people before I get well righted, because
hilarious. I just well righted you. Yeah, no. No, because my wife wants me to pick up tacos for dinner. I don't know if that's
stay safe out there in those streets.
But it isn't crazy. No, but I'm glad to see you're doing good. I really wish you all the luck, especially with your baby and stuff. I know this is probably a little crazy right now, but just wishing you the best, and I know everything's gonna be great. And if you want to name it Samantha or Samson, I'm cool with that.
I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, please do. And everybody follow Jasmine Lee. Here is her handle. I just posted up on the screen. Anything you want to say to the peeps before we get out of here, Jasmine? Tell them.
Make sure you guys follow me on everything. I'm at Real Jasmine Lee, JasminLeigh. And make sure you guys catch People's Party. It comes out every Monday. It's on all podcasting platforms, and you can catch it, the video version, on Uproxx's YouTube. And go there and leave a wonderful, sweet comment about me. Tell them how much you love me.
Of course they love you guys. Please, thank you so much, Jasmine Lee, for being on my show. It's not easy getting, people to actually respond back to my request. Everybody's kind of a little funky right now. So I appreciate you coming on and spreading the light. I think people need to kind of hear that now. So,
well, thank you for having me. I enjoyed it.
Hells yeah. Let me play that theme music. We'll get out of here. Thank you so much, Miss Jasmine Lee. This has been Samson's World, guys. We will be here entertaining you through this shitstorm of a quarantine. Dance it out, Mom. And we're riding. Yeah, this looks like Bukkake. Sorry. It's an original song produced by Clayton alumni Ahmed Oliver, by the way. That's right. Here we go.
Ow.
Yes. All right, Jasmine. Come on, shake it out, crowd. Good to see you. We'll see you guys soon.
Do I leave the room now?
Yeah. Bye, girl. Good to talk to you.